Many people believe wealth is reserved for the gifted few, the exceptionally talented, lucky, or brilliant. But Earl Nightingale had an entirely different perspective, one that explains exactly why ordinary people often become extraordinarily wealthy. Picture this: someone you know, maybe even yourself, going from a modest life to creating a fortune beyond imagination. Seems impossible, right? But Nightingale insisted it wasn't. He taught that wealth isn't a magical stroke of luck. Instead, it's rooted in a simple, powerful shift in thinking, one that any person can master. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal exactly how ordinary people harness this remarkable secret to build extraordinary wealth. But first, let me share a quick story. This will make everything crystal clear. Imagine two people with similar jobs, similar education, and even similar backgrounds. Yet one ends up building an empire, while the other stays trapped in a life of constant struggle. The question is, why? Nightingale discovered the answer lies not in external factors, but in something subtle and internal: their mindset. But hold on, because here's the twist. It's not just any mindset. It's a particular way of thinking that Nightingale uncovered and refined, and it changed thousands of lives. Before we dive deeper into Nightingale's exact method, let me introduce myself quickly. I'm Walt, and I want you to think about this. Have you ever wondered why some people achieve massive success while others, despite working just as hard, remain stuck? The difference, according to Earl Nightingale, boils down to one single factor, and if you learn it, your entire financial future can change dramatically. Here's the secret. Earl Nightingale said ordinary people become extraordinarily wealthy by applying the principle of clearly defined goals backed by unwavering persistence. Now, before you say, "Walt, I already know about setting goals," here's something shocking you probably never realized. Nightingale found that 95% of people never actually define their goals clearly. And even among those who do, only a tiny fraction persist long enough to see their dreams materialize. But why is clearly defining goals so critical? Well, according to Nightingale, the human mind functions much like a guided missile. Once given a specific target, it locks on, making thousands of small adjustments until it hits its mark. Without a clear target, it simply drifts aimlessly. Think about it. Without clarity, even the hardest work won't lead you to wealth. But when you provide your mind with a crystal clear target, it becomes nearly unstoppable. This insight, simple as it sounds, was the cornerstone of Earl Nightingale's groundbreaking teachings. But knowing about clearly defined goals is only half the equation. Nightingale emphasized that the other half, persistence, is equally vital. Persistence, he taught, is the fuel that keeps your mind locked onto your goal, adjusting course through every setback. Now, I know what you're thinking. Walt, persistence sounds exhausting. How do I keep going when it feels like nothing is happening? This is exactly where Nightingale introduced another game-changing idea that separates ordinary dreamers from extraordinary achievers. He called it the feedback principle, and mastering it can literally multiply your chances of success overnight. Imagine this. Two people pursue their clearly defined goals with equal effort, but one person interprets setbacks as failure and quits, while the other sees them as feedback and adjusts accordingly. Who do you think will achieve extraordinary wealth first? Exactly. The feedback principle transforms obstacles into stepping stones. Nightingale pointed out that setbacks aren't signs to stop. They're crucial signals telling you exactly what adjustments you need to make to hit your goal. This shift in perspective is exactly how ordinary people rise to incredible levels of success, turning adversity into advantage again and again. So here's the critical question you must ask yourself. How clearly defined are your financial goals right now? And more importantly, are you genuinely using setbacks as valuable feedback? Or are you allowing them to derail your progress? Because understanding and applying these two simple but powerful principles could be the turning point that changes everything for you too. And there's more, because Nightingale didn't stop there. He also revealed one more critical practice ordinary people use that drastically accelerates wealth building. It's something anyone can do, but most never will. And I'm about to reveal exactly what it is. The practice I'm talking about is Nightingale's concept called daily investment. Now, when I say investment, I'm not just talking about money, although that's important too. Nightingale explained that extraordinary wealth always starts from investing consistently in yourself, your mind, your skills, and your growth. Here's a powerful truth most people overlook. Your income can only grow that as far as you grow. Nightingale believed that ordinary people who became extraordinarily wealthy understood this clearly. They made a daily habit of deliberately expanding their knowledge and skills. They didn't leave it to chance. They made it non-negotiable. Think about that for a second. How much time each day do you deliberately invest in yourself? Here's an even bigger question. Do you think your wealth would dramatically increase if you dedicated just 30 minutes of way to growing your mind? Nightingale said this small habit separates the financially average from the financially exceptional. But there's more to it than just reading or listening to motivational talks. Because here's the twist. It's not only about gathering information. Nightingale emphasized the critical importance of immediately applying what you learn. He described knowledge without action as merely potential wealth. Actual wealth comes from action. Think about it this way. Imagine two people attend a seminar on wealth building. One leaves feeling inspired but changes nothing, while the other immediately applies just one idea. Fast forward 5 years. Who do you think achieved extraordinary results? That's right, the person who took action. But why is immediate action so crucial? Nightingale explained that action reinforces learning and accelerates results. Your brain rewards action. It reinforces the habit and makes you hungry for more knowledge. That hunger creates unstoppable momentum. That's how ordinary people go from living paycheck to achieving massive financial breakthroughs. Now ask yourself honestly, what would your life look like if you genuinely started applying just one new idea each day? How quickly could your income multiply? But there's another factor Nightingale identified, and it's the reason many people still fail despite clearly defined goals, persistence, and daily investments in themselves. It's something most people struggle with, even if they're doing everything else right: their environment. Think about it. Are the people around you lifting you up or holding you back? Nightingale taught that your environment has a profound influence on your financial destiny. Surrounding yourself with people who doubt your ambitions or mock your efforts creates invisible barriers to wealth. On the other hand, surrounding yourself with supportive, ambitious people multiplies your chances of success. Nightingale famously said, "You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." Take a moment to reflect. Who are your 5 people? Are they empowering you to achieve extraordinary wealth, or are they anchoring you in mediocrity? Because here's what Nightingale discovered. Ordinary people who achieve extraordinary results intentionally build environments that support their success. They join groups, find mentors, and build networks of like-minded, success-driven individuals. They understand something crucial. Success is contagious, but so is mediocrity. So now you must ask yourself the tough question. Is your environment pushing you toward wealth or pulling you away from it? The answer to that single question might determine your entire financial future. To recap quickly, clearly defined goals, unwavering persistence, daily investments in yourself, immediate action, and a supportive environment. These are the keys Earl Nightingale taught ordinary people to unlock extraordinary wealth. Each of these elements alone can improve your results, but combined, they create an unstoppable formula. The real question now is simple. What will you do with this knowledge? Will you nod, agree, and return to your usual routine? Or will you finally use Nightingale's powerful guide to transform your life? Remember, extraordinary wealth doesn't require extraordinary talent. It only requires ordinary people like you to follow proven principles consistently. The choice is entirely yours. Choose wisely.